نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back everyone to our Kids Hour program, the sessions where we continue our online maktab that we began before the month of Ramadan began. Inshallah, we're continuing today. We've just about crossed the halfway mark in the month of Ramadan. So we need to especially utilize the remaining half that is to come, inshallah. In addition to that, following the announcements made by officials, the need for our continuation of online programs continues, as many people will still be at home even though the restrictions have been relaxed in Trinidad and Tobago. So let's get started, inshallah ta'ala. First of all, we have our qaida practice that we are continuing. The last day we had gone through some of the examples in these 7, 8, and 9 letter words, where we looked at being able to read all of the letters of the word, and we reiterated the point that if a student is able to do this successfully, if a student is able to read all of these letters without too much difficulty, then that student is not going to have any problems moving forward regards to recognizing letters. And there will be students at different levels. Some will be able to read, all of the words correctly. Some will be able to read some of the words. Some will be able to read just a little bit to recognize some letters based on where they are. The point is, wherever you are, move forward, inshallah, progress, inshallah, practice, inshallah, and then that will be of benefit to you. So, our next lesson that we're starting today is our introduction to vowels. Now, in English, we know that we have letters of the alphabet, and then we have the vowels A, E, I, O, U. And when these vowels and consonants come together, we are able to produce words that have sounds. Right? We're able to produce words that have sounds. Just like that, in Arabic, we had the letters and the name of letters that we had covered before. However, the letters themselves require vowels to have a sound, to be able to produce a sound that we can read and that we can listen to. And the foundation for all of the vowels are the 3 short vowels. If we are able as individuals to master the vowels and these short vowels, then students should know very well that in the future, all of the vowels will be on this basis. When you have mastered these first initial 3 vowels, then all of the vowels to come will become easy, right? Because the vowels to come are based on these base 3 vowels. And these base 3 vowels, they have names. Generally speaking, however, you do not need to know the name of the vowel necessarily. All you need to know is how the vowel is pronounced, right? So we know that the letter that is seen in these examples here is Aleph. That's the name of the letter. The name of the letter is Aleph, right? When Aleph takes a vowel on top of it that looks like a small stroke that's diagonal, this gives it an ah sound. So everyone recite after me. Ah. So this is the first of the short vowels. It's a short sound of ah. The next one is the same aleph and the same symbol. However, it's now below the letter, not above the letter. Remember when we were talking about dots being able to distinguish 2 letters, we talked about the position of the dots. And just like that, we have 2 vowels, right? They look exactly the same, but one is above the letter and one is below the letter. And so the letters therefore have different sounds. So the second one has the sound E. So everyone after me, E. So first one, A, second one, E. All right. The last vowel, it looks like a small wow. You remember we had the letter wow, right? It looks a little bit like a wow that's on top of a letter, right? And again, remember the position, remember the way that it looks, right? It's a small wow looking symbol on top of the letter. And this gives the sound oo. So everyone, oo. So we have a after me, a, e, oo, right? And that's all there is to the vowels, the short vowels. That we have one that has a sound of a, one that has a sound of e, and one that has a sound of oo. And our ability to transfer this sound afterwards is what's going to give us the best benefit, inshallah. So, before we move on, let's talk a little bit about the names of these vowels. It will not be a focus point too much in these sessions, but it is important for students to know what the names of these vowels are. And this first vowel with which is a small stroke on top of a letter, it is called fat ha, right? Fat ha. So this combination, right? So we have the term fat ha. So we read this combination as Aleph Fatha A. Aleph, the letter, Fatha, the vowel, and then A, the sound that the letter and the vowel together makes. All right. The next one has a name of Kasra. Kasra. Okay. And the combination Aleph Kasra E. All right. Aleph Kasra E. And lastly, last of the short vowels is Dhamma. Okay, Dhamma. And again, Aleph, Dhamma, U. All right. But as I mentioned before, our concern is not necessarily the names of the vowels. This is important later on when we are learning more vowels. What's important, however, is recognizing the symbol of the vowel and the sound that it produces. Okay, so what I would like our focus to be on this lesson is the symbols of the vowels, and their sounds. All right, so we have a, e, u. Okay, good. Let's look at some examples, and through these examples, we will actually be able to wrap our heads around this lesson in a beneficial way, inshallah. So we have here a table that has the list of every letter of the alphabet, along with each of the three short vowels. And what we want to start to do today is just to read them, to get accustomed to what the sound is produced and what sound is produced. Okay? So we just said Aleph Fatha is A, Aleph Kasra is E, Aleph Dhamma is U. So after me, A, E, U. Again, A, E, U. All right. Now, let's transpose what we just did to another letter. We know that this is the letter Ba, right? All of this is the letter Ba. And we can know that, if we think about the letter Ba, it's like the letter B in English. So if we had on Aleph, A, E, and U, so the letter Ba, we're just going to have Ba, B, Boo. All right, so we put the sound of the ba, a b sound, to a, e, u. So b and a gives ba, b and e gives b, and b and u gives boo. So ba, b, boo. Everyone after me? One more time. Ba, b, boo. All right. Continuing with the very same exercise, we have the letter ta, right? The letter ta is a t sound. So t and a gives ta, t and e gives t, t and u gives tu. So ta, ti, tu. Again, ta, ti, tu. Good. Next, we have the letter fa. The letter fa. So just like before, it's a f sound, fa, f, right? So f and a, fa. F and e, fi. F and u, fu. So the sounds that these letters and vowels make in their combinations, fa, fi, thu. So one more time from the top, a, e, u, ba, bi, bu, ta, ti, tu, fa, fi, thu. Okay, so our job right now is to figure out how we are pronouncing the sounds of these letters in conjunction with the vowels, and for us to focus on what vowels we are reading. Right? Now, let's do this way. Let's read this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. So we have a, ba, ta, tha. Again, a, ba, ta, tha. Good. Next one, the second of each three, E, B, T. And lastly, the remaining of the each three of the short vowels, U, Bu, Tu, Thu. Good. So what's important for us moving forward is that we work on recognizing the symbol of the vowel and the sound that the vowel will take, whether it's A, E, and U, and then on our ability to join on that sound to the letters that we have already covered, right? So this would have been the first four letters, Aleph, Ba, Ta, Tha, with each of the three vowels. And Inshallah, tomorrow we will continue with a bit more practice on this table. Um, Today was the introduction to the short vowels, so we will try to work on completing the rest of the alphabet tomorrow so that we can get accustomed to the sounds that they produce. And then after that, we will move on to using these letters and vowels in actual words, right? Because we had done last time the the words themselves, but these words have had the vowels removed. So now we need to start adding the vowels to them and being able to figure out their actual pronunciation, inshallah. So we call that an end to our session on Qaida practice for today, inshallah. So the last day we had covered Suratul Zilzal, or rather we had covered Suratul Adiyah, wal Adiyat Dabaha, and today we want to move on to Suratul Zilzal. Surah Zilzal is a little bit shorter than Surah Adiyah, but some of the surahs will now have increasing lengths as we go further and further into the beginning of the 30th juz. Always, we begin our recitation of the Quran with the Ta'awudh, A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim, followed by the Tasmiyah or the Basmala, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Let's get started. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إذا زلزلت إذا زلزلت more time. إذا زلزلت الأرض زلزالها. الأرض زلزالها. From the beginning. إذا زلزلت الأرض زلزالها. And the whole thing, let's try it. إذا زلزلت الأرض زلزالها. Next one. وأخرجت الأرض. وأخرجت الأرض. أثقالها. أثقالها. Again. وأخرجت الأرض أثقالها. Now let's add the whole line together. وأخرجت الأرض أثقالها. Let's continue, inshallah. وقال الإنسان وقال الإنسان ما لها ما لها. وقال الإنسان ما لها. Next. يومئذ تحدث يومئذ تحدث أخبارها. يومئذ تحدث أخبارها. يومئذ تحدث أخبارها. Good. Continuing. بأن ربك بأن ربك أوحى لها. أوحى لها. بأن ربك أوحى لها. بأن ربك أوحى لها. Let's move on. يومئذ يصدر الناس يومئذ يصدر الناس أشتاتا ليروا أشتاتا ليروا أعمالهم ما لهم يومئذ يصدر الناس أشتاتا ليروا أعمالهم. One more time, because it's a longer verse. يومئذ يصدر الناس أشتاتا ليروا أعمالهم. Next verse. فمن يعمل مثقال ذرة فمن يعمل مثقال ذرة Let's read that one more time. فمن يعمل مثقال ذرة خيرا يره خيرا يره فمن يعمل مثقال ذرة خيرا يره. The next verse is very similar to the first part of that verse we just read. وَمَن يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ وَمَن يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَهُ شَرًّا يَرَهُ. Okay, um, let's finish up today with reading through all the ayahs one time. إذا زلزلت الأرض زلزالها وأخرجت الأرض أثقالها وقال الإنسان ما لها يومئذ تحدث أخبارها بأن ربك أوحى لها يومئذ يصدر الناس أشتاتا ليروا أعمالهم فمن يعمل مثقال ذرة خيرا يره ومن يعمل مثقال ذرة شرا يره. Okay, good. So that'll bring us to the end of our Quran reading session for today, inshallah. So into Islamic studies. All right. So we have last week talked about the Quran and the sunnahs that we should hold with regards to the Quran and how we should learn the Quran, the reason the Quran is important and its connection to the month of Ramadan. Before that, we would have discussed the sunnahs of sleeping and the sunnahs of eating, some of them, right? The simple ones that are easy for us to put into practice immediately. And we recognize the fact that, as I mentioned before in the beginning, we have crossed the halfway mark in this month of Ramadan. So less than half of the month remains. And this is the time that we should consider to ourselves, just to take a little check how our the first half of the month of Ramadan went and how we can utilize the second half of the month of Ramadan in an even better way. Because we know that there are very many narrations that talk about Laylatul Qadr, right? And Laylatul Qadr, we had mentioned this before, and I'm bringing it up again because we are very close now to that time, is a night in the month of Ramadan. Generally speaking, we do not know which night of the month of Ramadan is. However, we do have different sayings of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that tell us about when the night could be. So there are some sayings that the night of power, Laylatul Qadr, can be in the last 10 nights of the month of Ramadan. All right, there are some sayings that it can be the last odd nights in the last 10 nights of the month of Ramadan. There are some sayings that there was once a time that it was the 27th night. And then there are some sayings that it can be any night in the month of Ramadan. So our job is to utilize every single night in the month of Ramadan in the best way that we can. If we do that, no matter which night the night of power is, then we will have gained the reward for worshipping Allah in that night. However, there is a very strong link that the night of Laylatul Qadr can be in the last 10 nights of the month of Ramadan, which is when people perform i'tikaf. They seclude themselves in the masjid, seeking the ability to gain the night of power. What should we do though, as individuals who are fasting during the day and trying to worship Allah in the best at night time? What should we do to gain the rewards of the night of power? Well, we just consider the general things that we should be doing in the month of Ramadan. The first is that we should be trying to perform extra salah that we can. In the month of Ramadan, every fard salah that we perform, just now is Zuhur salah. If we to perform Dhuhr salah, inshallah Allah will give us the reward as though if we perform 70 Dhuhr salahs. That's the reward of every fard salah in the month of Ramadan. And every optional salah in the month of Ramadan. So, for example, the Taraweeh that we perform, the different sunnah salahs, the different optional salahs, every one of those salahs that we perform, Allah gives the reward of a fard salah in the month of Ramadan. So definitely, throughout the month of Ramadan, we want to be making use of salah. We want to be performing as much salah as possible. All of the optional salahs surrounding the fards, the Taraweeh salah, the Tahajjud salah, when you get up for suhoor in the morning, we want to be performing these salahs. Then after that, we want to be remembering Allah abundantly, right? So whether it's a night of power, Laylatul Qadr or not, we want to remember Allah abundantly. So we want to always be in the remembrance of Allah. Either we are saying Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, or we are reciting Quran, reciting Quran and we're remembering Allah because the Quran is the word of Allah. Right? We are remembering Allah abundantly. We are utilizing the du'as before we go to sleep, when we eat, before we do anything, so that we remember Allah throughout the day. And after that, one of the things that is very beneficial as well is giving of charity, right? And this will be for those people who can give charity, have the means to give charity. But giving charity, you give whatever you can from whatever you have. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward every person for that which they give. Right? It's not the amount that they give, it's the sincerity and intention behind it. Because if someone has very little and they give what they can, Allah will reward them accordingly. That's like if someone Allah gave a lot and they gave according to their means, Allah will reward them accordingly as well. The point is to worship Allah and to exert ourselves and to push ourselves as best as we can to become obedient servants of Allah, right? To move towards obeying Him as much as possible and to stay away from disobeying His commands and disobeying that which He has prohibited. So, in the month of Ramadan that is to come, the night of power that is possibly to come as well, our efforts should continue, that we should continue performing our salah, should continue the days, we should continue remembering Allah through the different words of dhikr and through the recitation of the Quran, whether we are listening to it, whether we are reciting it ourselves, which is best, right? We are remembering Allah as much as possible, that we are giving charity and being generous as much as we can, right? So even if that means, we send some food to someone who is in need or a family member, right? We remember them while we are preparing all the food and send a little extra for them. All of this are very rewarding actions in the month of Ramadan. And for us to utilize this night of power that is to come, remember every action that is done on that night will be given the reward as if you were doing that action non-stop for 1,000 months, right? It's a very, very blessed night that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given the ummah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So if we were to do any of those actions, perform salah, remember Allah, give charity, and inshallah Allah will reward that action as if we had done those actions for 1,000 months. And remember that the point of the reward is not just the reward, it is the pleasure of Allah. And we are trying to hope to attract the mercy of Allah. Because Allah is the one who has created us and who has sent us on this earth as a means to see which one of us will be best in actions, Which one of us will worship Allah the best? Which one of us will remember Allah? Which one of us will move forward in a way that is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Right? So let's renew our intentions that we had before the month of Ramadan. At this point in time, let's work towards making good use of the time that we have in the month of Ramadan. There may be some students at home who will be having, online classes for school. Outside of those that time, how are you utilizing your time? How are you worshiping Allah the best that you can? We should ask ourselves these questions, and we should move forward with the intention that we are going to utilize the month of Ramadan that remains in the best way possible. We're going to try to attain that taqwa, that awareness of Allah, that remembrance of Allah, that fear of Allah, and we're going to try to leave this month of Ramadan in a way that we are free from sins because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forgiven us and we have attained His mercy, inshallah. So we will conclude there for today, inshallah, and we will continue with our sessions tomorrow with each of the topic areas. I will try to see which of the exercises that is up next in the Qaida practice to put on the group that we have created for sharing of resources for this class. And inshallah, we will speak again tomorrow. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.